going to be going over some of the differences between the Kool iron and a traditional hot melt iron. What gave me the idea of doing this is the other day I did a carpet job, and this seam right here was actually on the job, and the customer came in after I had the carpet in and everything and said, we don't like the carpet, we want to switch it out. So I stopped, I cut my carpet right there by my seam and took all the rest of the carpet back, and I noticed a couple things with this seam that I wanted to dissect and see exactly what was going on with it so I could prevent that in the future. So I thought while I was doing that, I was going to show you guys exactly what I was seeing. Maybe it would help you prevent something like that from going on in the future. And then I was like, well, let's go ahead and compare it to a traditional seam. By the way, this seam right here was made with the Kool iron. I've been using that on all my seams lately. So I'm trying to get pretty good at it, I guess, halfway decent at it. I'm getting to where I'm not really having any burn at all with it. And the reason for that is I'm using the Kool Glide seam board now, and I am also using the Kool Glide seam sealer, the glue sticks that comes with the Kool Glide and the Kool Glide. And I also am using the premium tape with the silicone on the back. So whenever I folded the carpet back and was cutting my seam out, I noticed, I was like, wow, that's probably my best looking seam that I've done with this. Viewing from the back, there was no burn marks or anything like that on the tape. So that let me believe that the board was working. It was definitely keeping my tape in the center and all that stuff. So we're going to flip this over and we're going to look at it, and I'll show you a couple of the things that I was seeing myself, and then we'll look at that as a group here, and we'll cut it apart and see what's going on with it. So there's no burning. There is one little brown spot, which was very minor right here on the side. Get a little closer right there so you can see that brown. So this was the only bit of brown at all that was on there where it got a little too hot. Everything else was nice and centered, no burn or whatever. But this is what I was seeing right here. So that's not like that because of that. See that right there? There's a little clump, and I'm pretty sure that it's a hard bead of glue under there. I don't know what's causing that. These other wrinkles, they're not bad at all, really. You get those kind of wrinkles pretty much out of a traditional iron, but there was that one wrinkle down there that felt like a gob of glue. Let's see. I don't actually see any more. I thought there was a little more. Right there's a little bit of a hard spot. That's not bad though either. It's wrinkled now because I got it all twisted up the wall, but when it's laying flat, it looks pretty good. I want to pull this apart also. I've not been using the Kool Glide seam board very long. I've actually just started using it here recently. So since I'm using the Kool Glide seam board, I am now running my Kool Glide on low instead of medium. I haven't been able to pull a seam part yet to see how it holds up and everything on low, so I also want to do that and just see how well it melts and sticks and all that good stuff running it on low, okay? Also, the Kool Glide glue sticks for your seam sealing the edges of the carpet is supposed to be a low melt glue. And
Bobby Griffin gave you 5.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that again, Bobby. Really appreciate you. You do that almost every single time, and I appreciate it.
Several folks have said hello as well.
All right.
Bobby Craig, Flooring Company.
Thank you, buddy. How's it going? There's supposed to be a really low melting glue stick so that they will melt easy with the Kool Glide. I am running them on low, so I also wanted to break it apart and see how those glue sticks run on a low temperature as well. So I pretty much just want to pull this apart and check everything out, working it on low versus medium, what I have been doing in the past, and also running it on a seam board, which I've just freshly started. So I want to see how much glue is actually getting in the back of the carpet and how well it's holding up. So without any more gabbing about it, I'm going to go ahead and cut this apart. And here in a second, when we get done messing with this, I've got another iron seam that I did here in my studio for a video, and I want to check it out, take it apart and all that stuff, and just see which one looks like it'll perform better long term and stuff. That one is also seam sealed with thermoplastic, not the Kool Glide, but it is sealed with the thermoplastic, and it's done with the traditional iron. So I just want to kind of see which one looks like it would be the best long term.
Matt Williams said hello, and Sean Moore gave you 10.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that, buddy. Matt, how's it going, buddy? Sean, I appreciate it, buddy. I hope things are going well with you and your son, and I hope you're teaching him some good skills with the Kool Glide that you received.
Mr. Camarina is watching from Texas, first time.
All right, cool. Glad to have you on the channel, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. So the Kool Glide tape actually has, let me go get some. You follow me to the back real fast.
Sure.
I want to get some tape and the board. That way you guys can see exactly what I'm working with. That way you'll know for the future.
Sean Moore says hello as well.
Who's that?
Sean Moore.
Okay. How's it going, buddy? Okay. This is the tape that I'm using, and I will go over that here in just a second. That's why I wanted to come back here. This is the premium Kool Glide tape. It does have silicone on the back to prevent it from sticking to the pad and such like that when it gets hot. And this is the seam board that I use. We'll go inside where it's cooler and go over this a little bit. So the reason why I wanted to get this tape and show you, there is specifically 4 thick beads of glue on this tape that I want to show you. And I've heard a lot of people say, now this is professionals that's been in the industry for a long time, Master 2s in CFI, so they've got lots of experience with this stuff, okay?
David Woody from Bluegrass Used Floor said hello.
Thank you, buddy. How's it going? So if you can see right here in the center of the tape, this actually looks like the glue is off a little bit on this row. Should be over just a little bit. Anyway, there's a thick bead right here in the center. A thick bead on each edge. Like I said, this glue should be scooted over a little bit right here. This is a little bit of a faulty row or something there. Let's see here. Yeah, anyway, should be here. And then a thick edge, a thick band. There it is right here. It's there. It's just over a little bit far. I don't know if you can tell that it's thicker. A thick bead on each side, and then right down the center is a little bit thicker. If you get just those lines right there mashed into the backing of your carpet good, even with just those, it's going to be good enough to hold your seam on a power stretch. So this is a really, really strong glue. From what I've heard, I've not really, whenever I first started using the Kool Glide, I have pulled a seam apart due to not knowing how to use it properly. I haven't had any issues with it since I've gotten comfortable with it and using it properly now. So I like the Kool Glide, that's why I use it a lot. There's a lot of reasons to use this actually. And this right here, the reason why there's no burning on my tape, you guys may have seen, I did a video when I still lived in Tucson, Kool Glide, does it suck? I was asking a question. And the reason why, whenever I pulled up a carpet job, the seam tape was just burnt all to pieces. There was like burn spots all the way through it and everything. And what this does, it's got a little metal track on it right here. And this goes under your seam, and this right here piece goes dead in between your seam like that. So it keeps your seam board centered, and it also keeps your seam tape centered on the seam. And you don't have any burns whatsoever on your tape, just like here. So that's a really good investment if you guys are having burns or whatever. It's just really good. Plus, you know that, I mean, it is pliable and stuff like that, but at the same time, you're not just pushing down on carpet pad. You've actually got something a little bit solid to make your seam on. It pushes the glue up in the back of the carpet better and all that stuff. You just got a solid surface to work on versus carpet pad, okay? It does make a difference, I assure you. I used to be where, and it don't matter. I made seams over carpet pad my whole life, always. But going to these classes where I'm able to use these and use seam boards and stuff like that, it definitely makes a difference, and it definitely makes a nice, flatter, smooth looking seam. So everybody's capable of learning, I believe, if you just have an open mind and are not stuck in your old ways. You can always learn and improve, okay? Anyway, I want to go ahead and I guess before I get too far into this, I want to bend it apart, and we're going to check out the Kool seam filler glue sticks, the thermoplastic Kool sticks. And again, because I am using my seam board, I'm running my iron on low. If you use it directly over pad, you're going to want to put it on medium, okay? There is no temperature difference on this. It only stays longer. Low is kind of fast. Medium is going to sit a little bit longer, and high is going to even sit longer. So it's all the same temperature. It's actually radio frequencies is what it's pushing out there, and that's what melts the tape. It just sets longer. There's no temperature change, okay? So with that being said, this, I'm wondering, did this have a chance to melt in the center? You guys have seen videos where I can just break a seam open like that, and it'll actually arch instead of breaking open like a page in a book. We're supposed to be able to arch this on low. Let's see if it holds up, okay? This is, I've not done it before on low, so this is going to check right here, okay? It kind of stinks because I'm right dead on the edge of this, so in order to bend it, I think I'm going to have to break it. But even though it's broke, we're going to be able to take a look at it and see if it did its, see if it does its thing anyway, what it's supposed to do. We'll be able to tell by looking at the very edge of the carpet and stuff like that. I'm going to have to break it in order to get it open here. Okay, so come down here close, and we're going to take a look at this. You can definitely see that it did do everything it's supposed to. I'm actually having to push quite hard on that right there. But looky here. So it's breaking the carpet. See here, it's actually breaking and pulling the carpet apart. It's not so much even folding right on the seam. Some of it is. Other places you can see where it's breaking the carpet apart, where it has joined the two all the way. Top to bottom of the backing is joined together like it should be. So it looks like it is doing what it's supposed to do. Look right here again. Here's another spot. We'll just work our way down this whole thing. So looky here. This even looks better than it did right there. This was in the middle of my seam, by the way, since I cut that out. If you can see right in here, that looks really good. I'm really happy to see that. Like I said, I've never done this before on low. This is a learning experience to me as well. All the way down so far, it's looking really good. It's pulling the backing, breaking it and such. Look at that. That is really good. You can see right there, looks like maybe places like that, maybe I didn't have enough sealer. This right here is beautiful. That's exactly what you want right there. That lets me know I'm getting a good bond through and through from top to bottom of my seam. Look at that, how that breaks. It's like you can't even hardly see it. Now that right there is super good. Look at that. That is good. You really can't even see where my seam is on that. That is really good right there. That is awesome. So I'm definitely happy with that. So we got that showed. It definitely melts the Kool glue sticks, thermoplastic on low. I was curious about that. There was a hard spot right here I want to check out. And what I believe what happened here is, actually I don't even know that that's a hard spot. It might just be a void where I didn't get it hot right here. If you know how to run a Kool Glide, you have to mark your carpet and set it, and then set it back in the same spot. I might have actually missed a little spot right here where it didn't get stuck, because it is actually mashing down right there. I thought it was a clump of glue, I'm gonna cut it and see exactly what's going on there. I don't think it melted right there. I think I skipped the spot with my iron. I absolutely do. Let's see here. I'm just gonna cut right beside it right there. Okay. Now, let's see here. Sorry for moving that around too much. I guess I need to slice right on that hump so I can see exactly what was going on there. Okay. Okay. So that is correct. Looks like I did not get that section hot right there. I thought it was a glue buildup. I can definitely see how it's not bonded right there. So you can see the actual glue on the tape and stuff still right there. Let me cut this and get it out of the way so you can see that. So that right there, see how it didn't even stick. So what I did, I scooted my iron a little too far and I did not get that part hot. You can definitely tell that didn't get hot because it's got no glue on the back of the carpet right there. So that was the ridge. All right, well, learn on that one, okay? I was wondering if it got too much, or maybe I pushed up some glue or something there. I was wondering if I had a bulge of glue, which would not be good. You definitely don't want that, because then if somebody steps on a big clump of glue barefooted, they're going to feel a hard spot. So that's what I was concerned about. I was hoping that that was not a gobble glue, and it wasn't. So even though I missed a little bitty spot with the iron right there, that would not cause any issues over time whatsoever. So check this out right here. Where I pulled this apart, you can actually see the fibers. Right here is the seam, right on that white line where I broke it backwards. You can see where it's actually tearing apart right there, where it's joined together really well, right dead on my seam. So that's good. I'm really happy to see that the thermoplastic is doing its job even on low, okay? Really happy to see that. Looky here, even though it well, I guess it did too. You can actually see the thermoplastic all over that right there. That done real good. Even if it don't melt from top to bottom, the thermoplastic is still sealed up really good. Definitely see it did good right there. But it's sealed up really nice right there all over the edges, okay? So, really happy to see that. That was my main concern, again, like I said, to see if it was going to be a gobble glue. Let's go over, now this, like I said, this seam was on a job, so I really like the time that you were able to take and make sure that your seam is absolutely perfect before you put it together. You can do that with the Kool Glide, okay? You don't have to be in any rush whatsoever. And also using the seam board gives you a nice flat surface to work on. Again, this other seam I'm fixing to show you was done with my Taylor Tools iron. Super nice iron, I really like it. The only thing I was thinking of when I was thinking about doing this, it's got the heat shield on it. I don't know now, I've not tested this. I'm wondering if it's going to prevent it from getting hot enough to where it does not melt the thermoplastic seam sealer. That's kind of what I'm thinking. We're going to pull that seam apart right there, just like we did this, and see the difference. This seam right here was not done over a seam board. It was done on regular pad. As a matter of fact, we did it right here in my studio, like I said, for a video, and I never did use that footage. So let's check it out and see exactly how this seam looked. Had tons and tons, like I said, years of traditional hot melt iron. This is all nice and flat and everything like that. Like I said, almost 30 years of using a traditional iron, so definitely shouldn't be any issues with having wrinkled up and lumped up tape on something that's been using that long. The main thing I want to do here again is, I want to pull the backing off, pull the tape off the backing of the carpet, and see how good it worked, see how good it stuck. And we are also going to check out the thermoplastic And I want to compare these two. I didn't do it here yet. Here in a second on the Kool Glide, I'll pull some tape off the backing. See how that holds compared to how this holds right here. Okay? Obviously, the quality of tape is going to make a huge difference. This is Power Hold 250 is what this tape is right here. On the West Coast, it was Auburn or brown glue. When I moved back here from Tucson, the same tape on the East Coast has white glue. I don't know why that is, but it just changed once I moved over here. So I guess first, let's break it open, see what it looks like, see if it was able to melt the glue sticks. Okay.
Carpet Man just gave you $5.
Carpet Man?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Phil. I appreciate that, buddy. Okay, so it looks about like the other one did right there. It did work. I was actually wondering about that. So you can see it breaking the carpet apart and such like that. Looky here, it's breaking it apart. That is actually opened up. It's not fully opened up like the back, like a traditional seam would. Now right here it did. So this will show you the difference right here. You can tell, you can tell that this opened up from the top of the backing to the bottom of the backing, okay? This completely opened up. Where here, it's just like a small layer of the backing is actually broke open. So that's what I was wondering, if the heat shield was going to prevent that seam sealer from melting. Also, this was not done with a low melt thermoplastic. It was done, I think it was also I want to say it was a Taylor carpet repair and seam thermoplastic. I would have to get it out of my bag to see exactly what it was, but either way, it's not a low melt like the Kool Glide is. It's
Bobby Griffin just gave you 10.
Thank you again, Bobby. I really appreciate that. And I hope you guys are able to learn from this. I know whenever I see something going on in my jobs, I would like to take stuff home, diagnose it, and see exactly what's going on. That way I can learn from it, okay? So I hope these help. I hope this helps you as much as it helps me, because I like to do this, like I said, that way I can see what's going on. And I like to know. Well, I think everybody that watches this channel likes to know what's going on, likes to do their best quality of work possible. That's why they're watching the channel. This is a improving channel, a teaching channel to help you do better on your job, okay? So a part that was not broke open, I want to pull the tape off here, see exactly how good it held, and I will do the same thing to this Kool Glide piece. We're gonna pull the back off of this too, and just test which seems to be holding real good. Both of them have pretty much the same backing. One is brown, one is white, but they're pretty much the same backing. Again, this is the Power Hold 250 right here, and I showed you what this is. This is the Kool Glide Premium tape there. So without further ado, I'm going to cut that so I don't have the end of it where it's not stuck. That would be a little bit cheating. So I'm going to start on a fresh spot just like I cut right there. So let's go ahead and see exactly what's going on there. Okay, so you can definitely see the embossing on the tape itself from the little squares in the back of the carpet. It's actually not holding like I was hoping it was. So I don't know. I've asked people about. Now that's good. That's good right there. That's what I was wanting to see right there. When it starts tearing up the backing of the carpet, you know it's doing good. So that's what I was wanting to see. I've actually asked people in the industry. That's nice. Okay, so that's holding really good. I don't know what the deal was right there. Maybe that was close enough to the edge of my head seam where it was going to be up the wall and I didn't get it hot enough, but this is good, okay? Again, I've asked people in the industry what the difference was between the white and auburn tape, and they simply said dye. Nothing, no mechanical or no difference but the color. They simply dye the auburn tape to give it that color. It all starts out white until they dye it. So that's the only difference from what I've been told from people in the industry that works with the stuff. And this is actually, that's actually done really good. Really happy to see that. Looky here. Okay. So, definitely tore the carpet all up. This was going to be a long-lasting seam, no doubt. Okay, that held really good. I will say that both of these seams were done the exact same, except for one was done with a Kool, one was done with a traditional iron. What I mean by the same, they both had the same roller. They both was put together with the seamer down now, okay? So there's no differences except for the actual iron and seaming method itself. Okay, that's nice. All right, let's check out, let's see if, I don't know if I'll be able to get that started or not. Okay. Yeah, okay. Definitely see that that's good. This is, the Powerwheel 250 is actually for light commercial and medium to light residential. So this is not a real heavy glued tape. I never use a really thick tape because I don't like the shadows and stuff that it would give from seeing the thickness of the tape under the carpet. I always use a medium density, I guess. I don't know if you'd call it that. I don't ever use a really heavy glue, okay? I always use something for medium to light. I don't like the real thick stuff because I don't like the hardness that it causes on a seam, nor do I like the thickness that it causes because it'll cause a shadow going over the carpet and such like that. So, let's go ahead and use, or pull apart this. Again, this was done on low. It is the premium top of the line tape. Whenever it comes to Kool, whenever I buy it, that's what I use. I try to get all products that are the best, no matter what they cost, because I like, for my jobs, to be the best I possibly can get them. So I always use the best products. I try to anyways, the best of my knowledge. So I'm gonna get this started somehow here and see how it held up. Okay, so.
Carpet man wants to know when you're going to start selling him seam tape.
I don't know. I bought some to test out and it done really good and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm going to start selling it or not. I don't know how many more products I'm going to add to my store. I'm kind of in debate whether I want to keep adding or just keep what I got. I'm kind of on the fence what I want to do with that right now. So I can't tell you, Phil. I'm sorry, buddy. So I can definitely see it does feel. So this right here, this is the thick part that I showed you, and this is the thick part that I showed you. That don't even really look like it's distorted. However, it was good enough to tear my carpet up here, but it don't even look like it had much melt right there. This is exactly what I wanted to see, and that's exactly why I'm doing this right here. I think by looking at this right here that I need to, even though I am on the seam board, I need to use my iron on medium, even though I am on the board, because this right here don't look like it had a really good melt. You can see the embossing on the little bit right here in between there and there from the backing of the carpet, but here on the thick and here on the thick, it don't even look like it was phased at all. Let's keep pulling. I'm pretty sure that this right here is simply from the thermoplastic seam sealer, because it's pulling it out right on the edge over here into the seam. It's not really distorting it. So right back here, it did a little bit, but not like I want to see. This is not good. This is a good learning experience. There we go. Now I felt it pull a little bit right there. That one spot was actually real nice. And you can actually see it right here. That's where it got a little tight. And you can see the backing and stuff left on the tape in that thick glue right there, okay? So I'm really glad I done this. I will definitely start running my Kool Glide on medium. Let's check out this other side if I can get it started here. Let's see. Might just have to. Okay. Now that actually feels pretty good. Okay. That feels nice. I'm wondering. Oh. So that tape that I'm using. Looky here. I said something about this a while ago. So this stuff is not centered on the actual roll itself. This thick stuff here was actually this side here. And you can see the thick didn't get melted really good. The thin stuff here got melted really good and it's holding really good because it melted good. So low is definitely not staying on long enough to melt that thick glue. Wherever it did melt good, it got a good bite. This is really good. It's really good here, okay? So you can see where it's tearing the tape and stuff like that. Actually doing really good where it did melt. That's good. Okay. So it did not do this. Look at the difference in this or this. This is a seam edge, this is a seam edge, this is a seam edge right there as well. So I did not run my iron hot enough. I can plainly see that. This should have been tore apart like this right here. If it hadn't got hot enough, it definitely would have pulled my carpet apart just like this did right here. So one thing I do want to point out, look right here at the thermoplastic, right dead where my seam sealer was applied to my carpet. It was, even on low, it was good enough to melt the seam right back together from the thermoplastic sticks. You can see all the way down my tape, the fibers actually stuck to the carpet. The fibers stayed stuck really good. So would there be an issue with this seam fraying, coming apart over time? I don't think so, even though it didn't melt properly on this side right here where it's thicker, because this is still stuck so good from the actual thermoplastic. That would have saved me from ever having any issues with that, because that seam was not going to come apart. So Kool Glide versus hot melt. It's kind of hard to say, I guess, because obviously I didn't run this hot enough on this. I might have to do a follow-up video running it on medium, and then also doing another seam with this to see how it does on medium. One thing I can definitely take away from this video is I need to run the iron hotter. Point blank. Even though I am using the seam weight, I need to put my iron on medium and be more precise with whenever I run my iron. So I'm running it, I'll mark it to the arrow, I'll run it again. I need to be super precise here, make sure I don't go just a little bit past, which is what happened on the part that I tore apart right there. I simply went past my mark just a little bit when I set my iron back down, and it left a little strip in the seam where it did not melt.
Dale Mitchell just gave you 5.
Thank you, buddy, I really appreciate that. Thank all you guys for your super chats, that is super helpful. I've not been able to do a whole lot of videos lately. I've just been so tied up with family and stuff like that. I got my 3 grandbabies living with me now, so I'm super happy about that. And I've just been spending a whole bunch of family time lately. So you guys forgive me for not putting out so many videos lately. I'm hoping to get back on track here really soon.
Most of the people commenting seem to prefer the Kool Glide.
Most of them do.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely do too. No doubt in my mind. This is my iron of choice. This is what I use all the time now, especially when you get into the low profile carpets, Berbers, patterns, and stuff like that, this is definitely the way to go, okay? No doubt. This has not got as much glue on it. It's a low profile tape, so it's going to cause less shadowing. You're not going to see that little bit of thickness that you're going to see from a traditional seam tape on the Kool Glide, because like I said, it's more of a low profile tape, just not got as much glue, so it don't show as much. We'll just say that. I don't know how else to say it. Okay, so did the shield on this iron prevent the seam sealer from melting? A little bit. I will have to say a little bit. If you latex your seams, you're not going to have to worry about that. You can definitely see the shining on top here where some of it did melt. It did melt my thermoplastic because I definitely got some shiny seam adhesive on top right there on both sides actually. So it don't seem like that it just held it together like I was hoping to see on my seam though. Let me see this again here. I really, really love that iron. So that's actually really good right there. Okay. Might have just been, okay. All right, look right here really close again. Before I give that ruling, I want to double check more of that because that is a super, super good iron. Check this out. So this is exactly it right here. You can see it pulling my seam. It's breaking it. It's not just opening up like a page in a book. It's literally breaking it apart and pulling out fibers and backing and stuff like that. So that's really good. I've done this test before with the same iron and stuff, only I wasn't so close to the seam right here. Whenever I bent it back, it did make a U shape rather than just opening up like that. So I think it is. I do believe that it does melt the thermoplastic good. Maybe I just, I wasn't planning on inspecting this seam whenever I made it. So, and it was not on a job, it was strictly showing how to make a seam here in the studio. So I wasn't being too specific with the sealer and stuff. However, it is breaking open. It is breaking. And you can see right here, this is what I mean by opening up like a book. Right here, it just opened up like a book directly to the seam tape. That's what that red is. That's actually a little piece of nylon or whatever in the seam tape right there. Everywhere else, the thermoplastic melted really good. So I don't think it's any error at all in the iron. I think it's done what it's supposed to do, even though it does have the Teflon on there. I think that is simply my error right there because I was not planning on doing this whatsoever. This is just, like I said, a piece of carpet that I dealt with some months back, simply showing how to make a head seam, and I didn't use the footage. So I don't think there's any problem with that whatsoever. Anyway, I don't know what else to say. The Kool Glide and the traditional iron, both of them has been proven methods of seaming for a long time. This Kool Glide has been out, I want to say almost 20 years, maybe even a little longer than 20 years. This hot melt has been out for a really long time. I don't know exactly how long, but they are now making these Kool Glides a lot better than they used to. Whenever they first come out, these buttons were pretty much for looks. They didn't make a bit of difference. Now they've got them figured out. There is a lot, low, medium, and high for different times of the radio frequencies will be shot out the bottom of the iron. So definitely my iron of choice. Both of them work great. Darn, this was called hot melt versus Kool Glide. I don't really know what to say. I guess it's all on what you get used to and whatever you prefer yourself. I like this. I am a Kool Glide person myself. Like I said, a couple of years ago, or maybe 4 years ago, I was not sold on it whatsoever, but I had to get my hands on it and just start using it. I like this. Will it hold up longer than this? I cannot say that it will, okay? Anyway, I don't even know how to give a ruling on this, so I'm gonna let you make up your own mind based on what you've seen here. And I hope that you learned something by watching this. I know I sure did. Really glad to pull my own work apart like that and see where I can improve and see where I'm able to do things a little different and make stuff a lot better. You guys should do that yourselves. If you see a little something going on, take your stuff home, tear it apart, and check it out. See what you can do to make it better, okay? Be kind to one another. Always build people up. Rising tides raises all boats. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, FBSP's out.